Hello friends, in this session we are going to discuss standby letter of credit. Friends, a standby letter of credit is primarily a bank guarantee, and this guarantee is given on behalf of bank customer in favor of a beneficiary to make payment if the client fails to pay or perform his part. Let us see this. So we have a bank customer. It can be borrower also. There is another party, the seller, the beneficiary of that guarantee. So they have some agreement between themselves to make some payment or to perform some contract. And issuing bank gives guarantee in favor of this beneficiary in the form of a letter of credit, that in case this buyer, this applicant, this bank customer fails to make the payment or perform his part, then bank will make payment to the beneficiary. So this type of guarantee is a standby letter of credit when it is issued in the form of a letter of credit. Now, what type of obligation can be there? The commitment to make this payment or perform his part can be in the form of some cash payment or in the form of completion of a project or to satisfy certain terms on time. Why these type of letters of credit are issued? Friends, when bank guarantees are issued, bank guarantees provide a cover to the beneficiary against failure of the party to contract to pay or perform. In this example, so bank guarantee provides cover to the beneficiary in case of failure by the applicant by this party. But in certain countries, including United States of America, the law does not permit issue of bank guarantees to cover financial or performance commitments. So whenever these type of commitments come there, banks cannot issue bank guarantees in countries like United States of America. Now, to circumvent this rule, the standby letter of credit is issued in place of a bank guarantee. So to take care of this requirement of law, not to violate law, the bank guarantee is issued in the form of a letter of credit, and that is called standby letter of credit. Friends, standby letter of credit is regulated by uniform customs and practices framed by International Chamber of Commerce like other LCs. And it is also regulated by International Standby Practices 98. So whenever a letter of credit as a standby LC is issued, it is regulated under these regulations. Friends, unlike normal LC, SBLC is never intended to be used. In a normal letter of credit, there is an intention that it will be used, but in case of standby letter of credit, the intention primarily is that it will not be used. So, SBLC is a definite but contingent commitment of the bank to pay if a client fails to pay or perform. In a normal letter of credit, the issuing bank makes the payment and then gets the payment from the applicant. But in case of SBLC, there is an intention that it will not be used in normal circumstances, but in case the applicant fails to pay, then the issuing bank will make the payment. There are different type of SBLCs. Let us see these different types of SBLC. So one could be a commercial standby, another could be performance standby, then there can be advance payment standby, then there can be bid bond tender standby. In a commercial standby, which is most popular, so this is for meeting obligation of the borrower to pay for the goods and services in the event of non-payment by the business debtor. So here applicant is purchasing certain goods or certain services, and this is issued to make the payment in case the applicant fails to pay. Performance standby is issued to guarantee the performance of the obligation. Advance payment standby is issued against an advance payment made by beneficiary to the applicant. So beneficiary makes some advance payment to the applicant and expects that the applicant will perform his part. So to guarantee that transaction, so advance payment standby is issued. In case of bid bond on tender standby, it is for execution of a contract if the applicant is awarded a bid, a contract. So these are various types of standby letter of credit. Friends, standby letter of credit exposes the bank to very high risk when we compare it with other letters of credit. So standby LC is a very risky LC when we compare it with the normal letters of credit. And this letter of credit is basically a safety net, and it enhances credit standing of the client. So once the letter of credit is issued, so credit rating of this applicant, the credit standing of this person, it is enhanced because beneficiary's payment in that case is secured by standby letter of credit. So for all practical purposes, as I said earlier, standby letter of credit is a sort of bank guarantee, and this type of LC is issued to circumvent the rule that does not permit issue of a bank guarantee in certain countries to cover financial or performance commitments. Well friends, I am sure the contents of this video will benefit you, and thank you for sharing your time to watch this video.